Well, hello my beautiful Pisces, welcome to my channel. This is Baba Jolie here with your monthly reading for June 2025. I've already cleansed your space and have meditated on your cards. For those of you who are returning, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for all your wonderful likes, shares, and subscribes. I am truly grateful for all your beautiful energy. Just a little reminder though, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one reading, just so you're aware. Also, please be mindful, scammers are about, pretending to be me and lots of other tarot readers. I do not do personal readings and I will never reach out to you personally to offer one. Also, I will never ask you for money, e-gifts, or donations. So if anyone masquerading as me asks for anything at all, please report them or ignore them. It is a scam, okay? Let's move straight on with your reading. Now, you may notice I'm in a different location at this time. I've just gone to visit family members for the next coming weeks, but I will be back in my usual space after that. I just thought I'd explain the change of environment there for you. So let us start your reading and let us begin. Okay, my beautiful Pisces, this is your monthly reading for June. I can't believe we're here already, but here we are. Where is the time going, my beautiful Pisces? It is going so quickly. But anyway, we have just moved into Gemini season, of course, and we've just had Saturn move into the sign of Aries, really making us sit up straight, pay attention to higher standards, and really keep our eyes on our personal prize. Now, Saturn moving signs can give us all a pretty major wake-up call to remind us that our actions today shape our future to come. And it really reinforces discipline and questions our life philosophy and also our belief systems. Now, this can be very harsh energy, so luckily we have my favorite planet Jupiter muscling in on the action this month to really steal the glory by offering us all a great big cosmic hug. I really feel like we all need it right now, and this will deliver rewards for all of your hard work and your focus, and of course it offers gateways of opportunity to better luck. Now, the planets, they change signs all the time, of course, but we have had some pretty major shifts recently, and it's very hard to catch a break. Now, thank goodness for June taking the edge off things, well, at least the beginning part anyway, especially before things get really intense in July. But let's not get ahead of ourselves and really bask in June's pause to appreciate all that we have so far, of course, and all that is yet to come. You know, it's really challenging at the moment. The pressure has really been on, and sometimes you can lose sight of all that you've achieved so far, especially when you're in a flurry of activity trying to keep life moving forward to hit your next target. But June is a month where the more you acknowledge your personal accomplishments so far, it will actually reflect and amplify to send more into your life. For we have officially moved into glorious Gemini season, as I mentioned, the twins mirroring and doubling down on the energy. Whilst, of course, we have Jupiter expanding that energy to offer you more. You know, when you step into your personal power, this is when you tell the universe that you expect more, and the universe will deliver opportunities for more. Now, of course, we still have to focus on responsibilities, but this month it reminds you to enjoy life's simpler pleasures, to have fun with your nearest and dearest, reset time in nature, you know, have good quality, nurturing food, and of course, some time alone to really connect to your higher self. Now, Jupiter's greatest influence this month will be in your personal life as it nestles into the sign of Cancer. Now, this is all about your home life, your relationships, and of course, your emotions and feelings. So June is a 6th vibration month, which really guides us home to self. So you'll be asking big questions like, Who or where feels like home? And do you really need to redefine boundaries? You'll be all up in your feelings as you endeavor to appreciate the present moment with the people that you care about the most. But also, it encourages declarations to self on what you are not willing to accept anymore. And also, it can reinforce using that word no as a boundary of self-care. You know, this is a softer month of heartfelt connections and a desire to create a sacred space for important conversations and moments. And of course, as we are currently in Gemini season, there may be a little bit of a battle between sacred space and alone time and your extroverted side, because that wants to come out and shine there. The prowess of your intellect demands to be heard and seen this month as it encourages creativity, questioning, great debates, and alternative opinions. Now, the magical energy this month, it kind of demands that you stay curious, explorative, adventurous, and open to that alternative path. You know, June, I consider it a major personal comeback month as it removes stagnancy, awakens your imagination to run wild, and it helps you stride towards many personal breakthroughs. You know, this is a month to celebrate you and that unique spark of brilliance that you bring to your world. Now, fiery Mars is in Virgo, which keeps you focused on the minute details to serve your higher purpose with precision and refinement. You'll be super productive to make major improvements. And of course, we have that full moon. It'll be in the sign of Sagittarius on the 11th. And let's just say that it will be a little bit unpredictable. So you may encounter a major plot twist in and around that date that keeps you on your toes. And also, your spontaneous side comes out to play. You might even surprise yourself, suddenly booking an impromptu event or vacation, or even launching yourself into a project that will be truly successful indeed. Now, as that full moon is in a fire sign, you're leading with passion, but also, you know, things may get a little bit intense. You may see some dips in personal energy there, but you'll get back on track. And of course, there may be the odd power outage too. And I hate to mention this part, but travel-related glitches may occur, delays and things like that. I'd also say pay attention to the 15th and the 19th of June, or in and around those dates, because Jupiter in Cancer, it clashes with Neptune, but also before that, it clashes with Saturn as well. Now, this could ring in a bit of a disappointment. However, the new moon on the 25th in Cancer itself will actually smooth any volatile situations to offer a better solution. So it'll work out better, but it may cause a little bit of a discomfort in and around those dates. Now, in terms of global events, this combination of planetary alignments, because as you can see, you know, a lot of planets are shifting into the sign of Cancer, you know, water-related events, a clash on the high seas, flooding, or even volatile underwater activity that expands land masses. I did mention in my yearly forecast there that I kept seeing an underwater volcano you know, coming to a climax there. And we've already seen a lot of activity recently. And I have to say that this seismic activity will increase towards a major climax, okay? Now, as a couple of planets have shifted into the sign of Cancer during Gemini season, it will also encourage people coming together to offer humanitarian aid, stand together in a crisis. So we may see, you know, a more compassionate side of humanity during this month. We'll also see a conversation around detoxification, especially when it comes to, you know, the food industry or the agricultural sector there. You know, when it comes to additives or any harmful chemicals, that sort of thing, it will all be up for discussion and debate for change. Now, the Gemini Sagittarius influence can also encourage global activism, a desire for freedom to reinforce transparency, and also major exposés will continue around the world, of course, but some of those conversations may be about the mismanagement of global funds. This will come to light. However, the question does remain, will we ever see change? Well, I can tell you it's a long road, but It will eventually lead to change. Now, also, new technological breakthroughs emerge, especially in and around the healthcare industry. And of course, at the end of the month, we have that beautiful solstice opening a gateway to personal growth, healing, and it also marks a return of personal light and hope. It's a highly sensitive month, this one, and it sees you listening to your heart to move forward with great purpose. And I can see here that you're trying to have faith with that Hierophant energy. You've got the Knight of Swords, you're locked onto your goals, definitely focused on your projects there, and some big changes at the end of the month. Now, I'm just rearranging your cards. I only take the uprights in the deck there. But your first card is the Hierophant. So this can indicate that you're doing what you traditionally do. It can indicate that anything that you were doing last month, it's not that you're not having anything happen in the month of June, because there's a lot going on. There's definitely some changes here, but I feel the beginning of the month is maintaining and sustaining the status quo, especially with this card. But some of you may also be called to launch yourself into a course of learning, whether it's downloading a course or whether it's actually physically attending a course. Some of you may travel to that course. This is all about education, but can also be about structure. And I feel structure is going to work really well for you this month. I feel like you're diligent, you're locked onto your goals, and I feel like you're super focused at this time to get whatever it is that you have started done, okay? So this card can also indicate that you're learning more about what you're capable of. Now, your 10th house is actually influencing you during this period, so it can indicate that you have the energy, the drive, the motivation to get those projects and tasks finished, okay? Everything will be completed, especially since you have that Knight of Swords there. This can indicate there's a flurry of activity at the beginning of the month. You will be in a business mind, and I don't mean that you're in business. It can be that you're structured and you're focused on transforming your life. So that means you're being stricter with yourself. It means that you are wanting to transform some area of your life. Lifestyle choices tend to be connected to the Knight of Swords there, but it can indicate that you're really focused on hitting a target this month. You have a lot on your to-do list, and this structural energy will keep you focused and make sure that you are owning your time, shall we say. Also, I feel for some of you, because that is a marriage card right there, some of you, there is a flurry of activity if you're planning your wedding during this month, or it could be that you're actually getting married this month as well. Some of you out there could be doing that. Congratulations if that's you. I feel you may have to make some last minute changes. I hate to give you that message. It's no biggie. I feel like you'll remain flexible, and actually the change is better than what went before, if that makes sense. So it almost feels like there's a last minute change and it promotes an upgrade. I don't know what that means. For some of you, it could be honeymoon related, or it could be some sort of travel related. It doesn't have to be the event itself, but if you're getting married this month, even if you are attending a wedding this month, for some of you, this could be an invitation. You may hear that there was some sort of last minute change, but it kind of ended in an upgrade in some way. So it worked out really well. So I want you to be aware of that, okay? Now I'm going to move away from that energy with a lot of respect. I feel this month is all about your inner knowledge. It is about your inner wisdom and developing a connection with your higher self, sitting with self and knowing what to do. So if you having to make a decision this month, I would say that all the answers are within you, but you may do a little bit of investigating further in order to have all the facts. And I feel that you're making a great decision there. I would say don't second guess it, because the Five of Pentacles there can indicate doubt or a little bit of worry about some changes or making a wrong decision. But actually, with that Ten of Wands, I feel like you're taking accountability and you're accomplishing something. It feels like there's a brand new start, or it feels like, yes, it's exhausting to have to make this decision, but ultimately you're clearing space for something better, okay? I mean, I want you to be aware of what this Ten of Wands says before I move forward, because it actually says there, accomplishment, responsibility, and tasks, burdens and things like that. Now, burdens and tasks, they're not really negative. This can indicate you have duties. There are things that you need to have done. So I feel that you are going to be multitasking. There is that flurry of activity, but there is accomplishment in that. Sometimes we see the monumental task ahead of us and we think, oh my gosh, it's such a huge thing that we are about to do. We're summoning all of that strength. That's what that Ten of Wands means. Yes, you're exhausted, but if you know the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot, a figure carries 10 wands. They are strong enough to get to the next level. They are strong enough to accomplish whatever it is they set out to do. So there's something here that you feel is tough. Maybe it's a decision or maybe it's an action. Whatever it is, I feel like you accomplish it and it brings great change. And of course, there is this energy with that Five of Pentacles that you're feeling the fear and you're doing it anyway, and you're going to be highly successful in this. It feels like big change for you. Now, this can be in many different areas of your life. For example, if you're wanting to be more active this month, you're trying to turn something around personally, it could be that you feel you have a long way to go. But ultimately, the first step is, of course, the first step to many. So it can be that although it's feeling like a long road or a monumental stage in your life, I feel like you will accomplish great strides and see a payoff or a development there. For some of you, it could be that you're summoning the strength to leave a toxic working environment, for example, and it's tough right now in the job market, and you may feel doubt that there are opportunities out there that will really fit your needs. But then suddenly the Death card is there, which can indicate change, okay, transformation. When you have the Death card, especially when it's partnered with that Ten of Wands there, it means yes, there is a clearing of something. Something is being shed or let go of, but it's clearing space for something better, okay? There seems to be some sort of ending going on in your month of June, but it feels like it's the gateway to more, okay? So if you're leaving one role, for example, if you're putting your resume out there, some of you may have already done that, and this could be the knowledge that you're sitting on right now. You're waiting for the right opportunity to give in your notice, or you are about to tell someone in a hierarchical position that you're leaving because you're going to somewhere else, or you're setting up your own business, for example. It can be that you have to have that important talk. For some of you, not all of you, this could be an energy of you telling your landlord or landlady that you're leaving the apartment or the house that you've been renting, for example, and you're going elsewhere. And it can be that there's a flurry of activity. You're getting everything into boxes, and there's a monumental move here, and it feels so huge. But when you're settled, you're going to feel really peaceful that you made the right decision there, okay? So we also have the Six of Cups. So a lot of you, know that you're bringing a project or, you're bringing some work or something from the previous month in with you there. It feels like there's an extension almost of what's happened in May coming into June. The Six of Cups can also indicate that there's a familiarity, as I mentioned. This is a card of familiarity. So it just feels like almost, even though you're in your 10th house, it may feel like you're in your 6th house of responsibility. Like nothing much is happening at the beginning of the month because you're just focusing on your to-do list and the things that you already do in your life. Some sort of repeat or repetitive cycle there, especially with that Six of Cups and the Hierophant. This can be, your structure, your routine, as it were, and it just feels like business as usual. That's what I meant by the business aspect. But if you are in a career, I feel like this is a period where you will elevate and make your mark on the part of the industry that you work in to really establish your reputation as being someone who is super successful and full of great ideas. You're destined for the top. The Ten of Wands indicates you can do it all. You're someone who, is highly successful or highly talented, and anything you turn your hand to, you're just great at it because you work hard. You put in the extra effort. You bring the A game. Now, the Six of Cups can also indicate, especially with this photograph there on that card, some of you may be pregnant, for example, and with the Death card energy, it can indicate that you're transitioning from, being someone who's expecting, and suddenly you're a parent and you're delivering your baby, and congratulations if that's you. It will change your lifestyle. completely, okay? And it may come as a very exhausting change, okay? But I feel like you are someone who is going to absolutely love parenthood, and I feel this energy here of having more responsibility, of course, but I do see that you have a very strong support network around you, and structure and balance is the key. You know, keeping to some sort of routine. This may be something that is given to you as advice, because this can also be an advice card as well there, okay? So it could be someone who is a healthcare practitioner, or perhaps even someone in your family lineage who has already gone through the process. They may tell you about routine and keeping to a certain ritual, for example, a repetitive habit, in order to get into some sort of structure. But also, for some of you, this could be you birthing new ideas, you know, something that you have already in motion, something that you return to, that you have been seeking new knowledge on. It could be that you're building your knowledge in some area and you're about to launch something. You know, the Six of Cups indicates that the universe wants to send you something as an offer. This could be, you know, some sort of news, a message, or it could be an opportunity that comes back around in a different form. So if you've just gone for an interview, if you're looking for a job, I definitely see here, for those of you who have been searching for a job for some time, if you've been out of work, whether you were made redundant or you lost your job or you had to leave a position because it was toxic, I do see change in your circumstances. I can see that you've been worried about your finances there. And the Ten of Wands can indicate that there is a role that is coming up there, and it feels very much like there's a lot going on in that role. It's very fast paced, but I feel it requires your intelligence. It requires your attention to detail. And I feel like it's going to be very exhausting. Don't get me wrong, because the Ten of Wands can be that you're exhausted in this role. And the Five of Pentacles can indicate there's some sort of starting salary that is a little bit less than when you actually sign on the dotted line and become a fully fledged member of the team. So I do see an increase in your finances, but I will pull a card on this because a lot of you, you know, that 10th house is about transforming your finances. And some of you may feel like you're not getting what you truly are worth in your circumstances. So you may shock your company. If you work for a company, may suddenly decide to leave, okay, and you may find another opportunity elsewhere. But for those of you who are searching for a role, it can indicate that you've been meeting people who have said that you're overqualified, okay, especially with that Hierophant there. You're someone who is highly established and talented at what you do, but that normally means that the company, if they're saying that you are overqualified, it means they love your talent. They'd hire you on the spot, but they don't want to extend their budget for that role. So it can be that they're cutting back. But I do feel that you will find a role that completely aligns with the amount of money that you want. We got the Page of Swords. Keep your eyes peeled. Be curious. There's a lot of opportunity out there in June, especially as we move from June into July for you. Okay, we've got Three of Wands, expansion, we got Full card. There's definitely a new start. Can you show me the money? Show me the money for my beautiful Pisceans. What do they need to know? Because the 10th house, it's all about ambition. It's about being organized. It's about focusing and hitting your targets, getting your responsibilities and tasks done. Magician card. Queen of Cups. Okay, so of course I've clarified. Oh my God, say go one more. I've clarified, but the Pentacles are not showing. So this can be that you just want to be fulfilled in your industry right now. Okay, there's a dream job opportunity coming in for you. A wonderful, fresh new start. One where I feel you may have a lot of responsibilities, but you could be independent in this role. For some of you, you may even start off as freelance in it or seasonal, but it becomes something that's long-term. There's a contract there. Ace of Cups, you're just going to love it. Okay, it's a fresh new start. You're going to love it. And I feel the money will staircase. So perhaps June, it's like there is a certain amount of money available, but you want more and you will work towards more. So there will be some changes there, but ultimately with that Ace of Cups, you know, dream job opportunity coming in if you're looking for it. Queen of Cups, you're absolutely going to love this. You know, this is also about honoring what you bring to the table of your career, okay? Queen of Cups indicates that you are someone who goes above and beyond. So you do need to find a role that respects all of your talents and gifts, and I feel like you will find this opportunity. But what I'm seeing is there seems to be a starting salary that will increase over time, okay? We have that Magician card energy, so that means your focus and your talent, but also it indicates that you're turning your visions into reality by using inspired action. So whatever amount of salary you're hoping for, you know, and you're being realistic here because you've got the Hierophant there, because I'm sure everybody in each role would say, I'd like $1 million a month, please. Thank you so much. But of course, we can't have that. So it can be that you're being realistic with your needs, but I do feel that you will staircase to more, but perhaps it may not be in the month of June, okay? So I feel, especially in and around finances, your money with the Five of Pentacles there, you know, this can indicate that as soon as you get paid, normally it's like things are going out when it comes to your bills. So I feel a lot of you could be putting some new money-making ideas into practice, maybe even thinking about launching your own business or a side hustle in June, strategizing, or even branching out if you're already a business owner or you're a creative. It could be that you're trying something new this month, and actually you will see your finances start to grow from, you know, July, August time there. But also the Five of Pentacles can indicate that some of you, you know, there may be a change in your finances because you're purchasing a large purchase in the month of June there. But the Six of Cups, it says here, familiarities, memories, and healing. So this is a very cathartic month for you on a spiritual level, but also this can be someone from your past, someone that you have a lot of history with there. They may actually reach out to you in the month of June. Now, I'm feeling this person connected to your 5th house. So this is an invitation to go out and have fun or to catch up, like a trip down memory lane. But this person may actually tell you about something that they're involved in or they've experienced, and this may actually help you. Now, this could be in terms of a job or career for some of you, or a money-making idea perhaps. But ultimately, I feel there's a lot of nostalgia and catching up going on with a person who reaches out, someone you haven't heard from in a while. But I definitely see here you have a lot of history, and actually you get on really well together. So it's really nice to hear from this person is what I'm seeing there. But I see a lot of you kind of returning to projects or ideas, things that you have already in motion, because Saturn, you know, asks us to revisit things, to revamp. And I see a lot of you doing that there as well. Now, we do have that Knight of Swords energy, which means very fast-paced month. You're going to be locked on to this sense of just doing life, you know. It's not like you're on autopilot, but I just feel that you are trying to put some personal lifestyle changes in practice whilst at the same time maintaining and sustaining your everyday circumstances there. And it says here, action, defending beliefs, and impulsiveness. Now, because we have structure there, I would just say don't rush into anything, especially if you're having to make a decision or sign contracts this month. You know, I don't see anything negative there, but because the Death card is there, it could indicate you'll have to return to something because either there's a misstep or a mistake. You could also miss something in a contract that perhaps later on you'll feel disappointed that you didn't see because you rushed into something. Now, also, if anyone tries to rush you into something, it normally means that they benefit from it, and there may be something that they don't want you to see, so they could try to put the pressure on. But I feel tempering your pace with that Temperance card right there is the key to getting it all for you and, you know, it benefiting you rather than anybody else there. Now, I also feel there is a piece of news that you've patiently been waiting for quite some time. I feel there's this energy here of this news coming in the next month. It's interesting because it feels like a double-edged sword. I got to be honest with you. It feels like it's good news, but also there's another part to it that's like, oh. And it's not really disappointing, but at the same time, it's like, oh. And I can't really grasp what that is. I'll always be honest with you and say, okay, I can't quite grasp what I'm being given. I'll pull a card on it and see. I mean, you do have a Tower there, but it's in the resistance position. That's exactly where you kind of want it to be, really, because it means you avoid something negative or, you know, there could be some upheaval in and around a certain area of your life, but you actually are not directly involved in it. You may witness it or, you know, oh, thank you so much, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels. Sorry, my guys just said the card has bent. So I'm like, oh, okay. But I can't see a card that is bent or flipped over there. The card has bent. Okay, so that's what my guide just said, but I can't see that. So perhaps this will mean something to somebody out there. Maybe it's a credit card that's spent and you have to renew your credit card. I mean, we do have the death card there. So this tells me that a lot of you are focusing on like expiry dates, you know, endings of contracts or service providers, or even like subscriptions. For some of you, it could be the end date on a credit card, for example, because your 10th house, whilst it's connected to ambition, it can also be connected to finances or status or, you know, something and that's related to your stability there. So it could be that you're looking at the date, the due date on it, and getting a renewal of something. But for some of you, with that 5 of Pentacles there, it could be that you decide to not renew it. You decide that actually you don't need this anymore. You're dropping it. You're letting it go there with that 5 of Pentacles. It can be that you're like, you know what? I don't need this anymore. It's just another thing to focus on. So I feel like you're streamlining this month because I feel you have a lot on your to-do list and you are prioritizing what's important at this time. We have the 7 of Cups and we have the 2 of Swords. I said it was like a double-edged sword, okay? Interesting that my guides gave me that. But the 2 of Swords is, you know, needing to make a decision. But as I said, it feels like something is, my guides are saying, be adaptable. We do have the 7 of Cups. It's like, so it could be good news, but then it throws up a whole set of conundrums where you may have to make a choice. Or maybe it's like something really exciting, but then there's a delay with it. So it could be that you get some news where it's like, yeah, you passed this thing and now you're going to get this prize or this payoff or whatever it is, but now you got to wait. And you're like, yay, oh, I was hoping to get it now. So it could be something like that. For some of you, it could be a permit that you're applying for or some sort of extension on something and you get it, but it may not be exactly what you hoped it to be, or there could be some sort of, thank you so much, I'm truly grateful, compromise there, okay? So I'm not really sure. I'm going to have to disconnect from that because I can't really grasp what it's to do with. It could be to do with an idea or something that you're applying for is what I'm being given there, okay? So with a lot of love and respect, I'm going to move away from that energy. I mean, balance is the key. Flexibility is also important this month. But this card, the Temperance card, can indicate that you're blending energies. You know, I do feel there's something here where there's a stalemate or a pause, a delay on something, and it may have been really frustrating. And part of you may be a little bit impatient, but actually I feel the pause was on purpose, and you're going to see why there was a delay. It feels like somehow it works out even better. It's almost like, I mean, it feels like there's one final push on something or a challenge that you overcome, and it had to be changed. So for example, if you had to fill in a form, right? And you sent it away and you're really excited and then you got the go-ahead, but however, they sent back the form to you and they said, unfortunately, you didn't fill in this box correctly and you got to just tick this box. And you're like, oh my gosh, it's just a box. Could you not have just ticked it for me? And they need you to do that and it may delay the process and you may feel, well, that's just red tape. But ultimately, it's still successful and you're still going to celebrate it. However, there was some sort of like return to it, because I feel a lot of you could return to something or have something returned to you that you actually have to fill out again or repeat a cycle with, okay? I hate to give that message, but it's something that's coming out there. And you may be frustrated, but it almost feels like, okay, my guides are giving me something, so I have to go with it. So for example, if you're applying for something or having a test on something or you're doing something and you complete it to the best of your knowledge and then you send it away, okay? And then it gets sent back to you with, you know, a note saying you didn't fill in this box. And you're like, oh my gosh, really? You know, it's not really a box that even applies to me, so I left it blank. And then you have to just like write a note saying this box does not apply to me, okay? Now, my guides are giving me that if it was submitted the way it was, it would have been overseen by a person who really does not like their job. And actually, this person is really grouchy and they'd probably just skim read your proposal or your application or whatever it is and deny it. They'll go, no, didn't fill in the box, denied. Okay, so it's almost like someone else caught it before that person, then sent it back to you and said, could you just fill in this box? And then when you send it back, it gets sent to the person who's going to pass you or okay or verify or whatever it is that you want to do. And you may feel that this delay or this frustration is annoying, but actually the universe made it this way so it would, land on the right person's desk at the right time. Okay, so that's something that's just come through with a lot of love and respect. I guess I just got the energy there, but I'm going to remove myself from that because not everybody's going to be dealing with that, but I just want you to be aware of it. Okay, also, if you have gone for an interview for something and you haven't heard, there is another stage that you will enter into. It's not a no. I feel like you had to wait for the person who has to interview you next to be back from a vacation. Okay, so that's something that's coming through there as well. So I'm going to move myself away from the energy. A lot of you are focused on your sense of purpose and blending energies. This is a card of duality this month. So a lot of you are thinking about, things that complement your life. So it could be that, if you have a long-term position that you're doing over here, earning a certain amount of money, you may contemplate launching like a side hustle or do something freelance or moonlighting there as well. For some of you, it could be that you have a lot of projects on the go right now and you have so much on your to-do list that you need to find balance and structure to make everything work this month, because I feel like you've got a lot on. So if you are someone who is trying to get everything organized before you take a vacation, because that Knight of Swords can indicate some sort of travel or having to return to a place. For some of you, there is this message coming through, which I don't want to really give it to you, but some of you may attend an event and you may actually leave a personal item at that event in the month of June, and you'll return to that place. And, the Five of Pentacles can indicate that, it seems like it's lost. It's gone forever. However, Ten of Wands indicates you go that extra mile and reach out to somebody else. You're going to be shocked. You're going to find it, okay? So that's something that's coming there as well, because my guides are telling me what was lost will be found, okay? So now we do have the Tower. It's in the resistance position. So this can indicate that you're liberating yourself from, a very challenging situation or maybe even a cycle repeat. And this is in the middle of the month because your fifth house comes out to play, and that's when you come out to play, because this is connected right to the very center of your month, and that's when that fifth house takes over. So I would say this is about the pursuit of pleasure, really letting your hair down, going out, having fun, accepting invitations, of course, because it is in the resistance position. A lot of you may hone your skills or pick up a hobby, and some of you will return to either watching a movie from your childhood or reading a book from your childhood, or even frequenting a place that you used to hang out at as an old haunt. And you may be shocked at how much it's changed. For some of you, you may even hear of a very prominent either monument or building that was famous in your hometown being torn down to I'm just seeing to create some sort of real estate. Okay, so that's coming out there as well. Now, let me pull a card on this Tower, because it says here upheaval, and it says there, what does that say? Foundational shift. Sorry, I wear glasses and I couldn't see that, so I had to take off the glasses to see that. This can indicate that some of you need to look at the fine print over the next coming weeks or months regarding something, because you don't want to have a shock on something. The Tower with the Temperance card can indicate that there is a need to be flexible, because there could be some sort of like plot twist or some sort of reschedule going on in your month. It feels like with that Five of Pentacles, someone may let you down, and that is the energy in and around that period in the month, the 19th of June. So if you're a parent, for example, and you've booked, a childminder, it could be that last minute someone lets you down and you're like, oh, but I feel like you managed to, you know, with a flurry of activity there, rearrange someone else, and you accomplished what you set out to do, but it was hard work. So you're ringing everybody around, okay? So it could be something like that. You know, the Tower can literally be that you have an argument with someone, and, you know, people say things that shake your foundation, or, you know, it can be that if you have a teenage child that's going through some stuff, it can be, you know, a conflict where they just literally slam the door and the whole, you know, premises shakes. So it can be something like that. So there could be a little bit of conflict in and around the middle of the month, but I feel like you take this moment to breathe, because the Temperance card is like, okay, and relax. Let's just take a step away from this. But because we have the Two of Swords and we have the Knight of Swords with the Tower, I would say some of you just make sure that you don't rush things, because there could be like a minor like twisting of an ankle if you're rushing around, for example, or, you know, there could be a shock, something that, you know, stops you in your tracks if you're rushing around there. Multitasking, because so many of your cards tell me that there's a flurry of activity. And also, if you're trying to get everything done to go on a vacation, but at the same time do your work and your projects, it could be that just when you're about to head to the airport or wherever you're heading off to, you suddenly realize you've forgotten something and you have to return. Okay, so that's something, I hate giving that message, but this is coming through, and I gotta honor what's coming through there. Page of Swords, be vigilant, keep your eyes peeled. Okay, I'm basically clarifying the Tower energy, and this can be to keep your eyes on things or investigate something, especially if it's something new or it's something that you have to change. It's like, don't rush into it. Don't be too quick. Don't be too hasty. And the Page of Swords is like, if you temper your pace with that Temperance energy, you'll identify something that had the potential to shock you or keep you locked into something. So if it's like a contract, for example, there could be some fine print there, whether you're upgrading your cell phone or you're connecting to a new service provider, or perhaps you look at a contract if you want to leave a position, you know, if you want to leave, you know, your premises or a job. It could be that there's something in your contract that says you have to give more notice than you thought, or there could be something in the contract that you didn't realize at first and it may shock you. For example, we got the Eight of Cups, because it's something that you walk away from. It's like you decide, actually, this is not for me. It's not fulfilling, okay? A lot of you, this Tower, I always, you know, describe a tower like we get stuck in a cycle of routine, and you've got structure there. You've got so much structure, the way things have always been. That is literally the Hierophant energy. And some of you could be feeling a little bit antsy in the middle of the month and say, you know what, actually, I just want to do something bold and daring and just kick back. And, you know, that Page of Swords could be that you're looking at new things in the neighborhood to do. So you're coming out of a comfort zone. The Tower is to literally take a leap of faith. And you got the Fool card there a moment ago. So I feel a lot of you could be feeling the fear and doing it anyway, you know, moving to a new neighborhood or having such a drastic, radical change in your life, because to have the Death card and the Ten of Wands, it feels like a major shift or change is happening at the end of your month. So either you're moving to a new neighborhood, or you're moving jobs, or, you know, some of you, if you've been going through some conflict with a person or separating in a relationship, it could be that, you know, it's done, it's final. And looking at the energy, you're the one walking away. Okay, so I feel there could also be an energy here of you transforming your life. And in order to do that, you need to, you know, limit distractions and remove yourself from chaotic situations, dramatic situations, maybe drama that's not yours. A lot of you are removing yourself. I always say this, you know, humans, we like structure. We kind of like to know where we're at, but only if we build that structure. We also like change and exciting new things. We must have balance of that, because variety is the spice of life. Sometimes we build a life that, you know, feels nice and safe and secure, and we get a little bit antsy. We're like, okay, what next? It's been like this for a while. Now I want to do something different. So with that Tower energy, it can be that, you know, as you reach higher frequencies, because remember, you know, this is all about frequency, the frequency rising, You know, there's always a lightning bolt on the top of the tower in the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot, and that is a higher frequency vibe coming right on in to kind of like shock you to your system, to your very core, to say, actually, I've been accepting this for too long, or I don't want to do this anymore, or something needs to change. And for some of you, you know, this tower is breaking free. It is rebuilding. And if you've come to this reading and, you know, before this reading, it feels like you've had a shock or you're rebuilding, I feel there is a disappointment here, but I feel it also, you know, freed you up from something. And I'm sending you a huge hug out there and so much love, because this can be like a buildup of pressure. And when you've got the Death card there and the Five of Pentacles, this can indicate that, yes, you've been going through a lot of adversity or stress or a struggle right now, but your prayers are being answered. It's hard, but there is a payoff. There is going to be a transformation so great in your life that you're going to be a tower of power, and you're going to be seen in all your glory. And you know what it took for you to raise up after all of that trouble and strife. You know what it took to get yourself into this position. You know, I always say this, and please look up the meaning of the Ten of Wands. It can mean that you're at capacity right now. You've got so much going on, and yes, you're exhausted. But the Ten of Wands indicates you're a very strong person, and this is where you have that breakthrough. This is where you accomplish something. This is where you set down all of those wands. So if you are someone who has a lot on your plate and you've been going through crisis, or you've been going through a lot of challenge, I feel June, especially the end of the month for you, it's your breakthrough moment. It is your moment of relaxation, of kind of settling down or letting something settle and coming to grips with it. And, you know, it's almost like the butterfly effect. Now you spread your wings and fly. It's the catapult for you towards something greater. It's like you're springboarding. You know, the Eight of Cups, a lot of you are thinking about walking away from something, and you may shock a lot of people by owning your truth and saying, this is not for me anymore. And with that Eight of Cups, a lot of you are, you know, either rejecting something, a way of living, or maybe even cutting something out in your diet, or a substance that perhaps you're having a reaction to, because the Eight of Cups are all about something that you can digest. So it could be something that you feel you need to keep an eye on because you've had like a major reaction to it, and you've suddenly identified a way of controlling it so that it doesn't mess with your hormones or put you out of balance there as well. You know, this can be personal, but there is this energy, and I have to mention it because this can be that you're running yourself at capacity right now, that you have so much going on that there is a potential here for either a seasonal cold or, you know, for you to kind of like get a little bit run down when it comes to your vitamins. You may actually discover that you are lacking in a vitamin, or there is a hormonal shift going on there that's leading you to be exhausted because you are under pressure, and it feels like it's amplifying things. So that's something that you'll identify through a practitioner, because there's an advice card here, and it can indicate that after having a discussion, once you do all the tests, suddenly you locate the thing that's been draining you, because the Five of Pentacles can be a drain on your energy with that Ten of Wands, and then suddenly you set changes in motion in order to either cut back on something. You know, this beautiful cockerel there has a scythe. They're cutting something out. You know, this can be that you're pruning, but this can be like, you know, that you are shedding something in order to promote growth there. For some of you, this could be that you're leaving a neighborhood because you feel that it's not for you anymore and you would thrive elsewhere. Or it could be you're leaving a job or a relationship or a friendship. Perhaps you're outgrowing a friendship there. And whilst it feels like something that has always been this way, I feel like you're breaking it down to say, no, I'm drawing a line in the sand. If I don't change, nothing will change. When we don't change something, we accept. And looking at your energy, it says you're not accepting this anymore. So I really feel this, you know, summoning all the strength within you to make a radical change in your life. And you're going to do it, and you're going to raise up because of it. So we do have that Two of Swords energy. I mean, look at this photo, it basically indicates that you're going to need many hands this month because you are going to be super busy with all these changes. There could be a merge going on with a company that you work for or with, or maybe even in your company. There could be some changes that are going on, and it just means that there's a little bit of a plot twist and you have so much to do this month. But I feel like you're going to be on top of it. And the changes that you're making now, your future self will thank you for these changes. Now, as you can see, the Death card energy, it indicates you're clearing space for something greater. Okay, now a lot of you cathartically are letting go of some challenging emotions because the Ten of Wands is baggage. So it can be that a very challenging experience you had that shocked you or even broke you down and left you completely exhausted and tired. And I'm sending you a huge hug out there, so much love. You could be going through this tower moment that has really shifted your perspective and your reality, maybe even turned your world upside down in some way, and you're rebuilding. But these changes, I feel like you'll acknowledge that it helped you escape something that was not good for you, or it basically helps you grow even further into you becoming your best self. It just feels like better opportunities are going to be coming towards you, but you had to let go of something in order to say to the universe, I deserve better. And I feel like the universe says, yeah, you do, but we needed you to let go of the thing that was draining you, or the thing that was keeping you stuck. And I feel sometimes when we do not acknowledge the signs, like many years ago, I was sent so many signs that I had to leave a very toxic work environment, and it was draining me. I was unwell all the time. It was breaking me down. People were rude. They were throwing things at me. They were swearing. They were horrible. I mean, everything they did there was probably, not legal, the way they treated people, but they paid really well. And they were a very well-known company, and, I needed the money, and it literally drained me of every, spark I had in my body. And, people who met me even for the first time, they were like, you need to leave this place. And I was like, I know, but, I'm scared, and I need the money. And, I got lots of signs from my guides, you need to leave. But again, I was scared. And then suddenly a tower moment happened where everything just fell away. And I kid you not, at the time I was rooted to the spot in fear. Okay, even though it's almost like I had an out-of-body experience where it was just happening. But if I could go back to my past self, I would say do it sooner. Because you know what lies on the other side of that fear is everything you ever desired, okay? It cleared space for better. So whatever you are clearing space for right now, this month you will see an impact where there is a payoff. And as you can see, this scythe, it literally reaches up to those clouds to kind of remove the clouds that have been in front of the sun. So what has been preventing you from shining? Who has been draining your energy? What has been draining your energy? This doesn't have to be a person. It can be a food substance. It can be an environment. It could also be that you have been, yearning to make some changes. And perhaps because the Six of Cups is there, sometimes we reach for the quick fix. A lot of pressure on our shoulders can make us feel a little bit low energy, or just think, forget about it. I'm just going to reach for the quick fix, rather than be strict with ourselves and stay on top of our intentions. But with that Death card energy, it tells me you may return to something that you wanted to change in your life. And this time, you're serious, and this time you're not going to return to it because it just feels like you're cutting it out, or you are owning your energy. You're taking accountability in some way to make these changes. It's like you being the catalyst for change. I'm just hearing, and this has come up before, that Michael Jackson song, I'm just going to try and get the lyrics there. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways. Okay, that's what's coming through there. So a lot of you, it's like, that something needs to change in your life right now, and you're taking all of that energy within yourself to summon the strength to make the changes. Because if you don't change, nothing will change. So I feel a lot of you are taking that challenge this month. Now, the Five of Pentacles, it can be a card of insecurity, okay? But also, it can be doubt. When there's changes, we doubt. the process. And I feel with the Hierophant being your first card, you're being asked to have faith. And you are about to turn a corner, but you can't see it just yet. The changes are in motion, so you can change and turn that corner. But also, the Five of Pentacles asks you to look at what makes you unique, what makes you stand out from that crowd, especially when you partner it with a Tower energy. The Tower is not negative, it's a surprise. And, the Six of Cups is also a surprise. So I feel a lot of you could have a wonderful surprise that comes on in here, okay? And it changes everything. So it could be the dream job opportunity, the dream home, an opportunity to move abroad, or perhaps, a dream relationship comes in. For some of you, there's this energy of doubt about it. It's like it will change your life. And then the seed of doubt is there. And it can be a little bit heavy, but it's there to help you accomplish something, either a lesson or to take a leap of faith. And it says there, as I said, accomplishment, responsibility, and burden. So a lot of you may be clearing space. You've got a lot on your to-do list, and perhaps you are at capacity. So this is you kind of like taking some things off your to-do list with structure, but then, your fifth house is going to ask you to find the fun in what you do, accept more invitations, and go out there and do things that bring joy. And perhaps that's what's the heaviness, trying to find the balance between the two, the responsibilities and duties, but at the same time, going out there, having fun, fitting everybody into your life, and, trying to do all of the things, all of the stuff. But I feel emotionally, some of you are closing down some very challenging emotions. So either you've been through a separation or something has ended and you need to just take stock of things before you enter like a new relationship. But if you are looking for a new relationship, I feel you could be talking to someone new, but ultimately I feel when you meet this person and really get to know them a bit better, I feel there's this energy of like, they're wonderful, but maybe as a friend, okay? And then the next person you meet, that's the person. That feels like the soulmate energy. Three of Swords, something's a struggle, but the Nine of Pentacles, it's like it's going to lead you towards financial independence or to not being an overgiver, for example. This is about you standing in all your glory. So you may be like struggling with something to be financially free. For example, you could be pooling all your resources, all your savings every month into taking down like a repayment plan, and you're leaving yourself with minimal finances or resources every month. But this could be the breakthrough moment where suddenly that debt comes to an end, or, it was a struggle. It was hard to get there. The Ten of Wands is a hard card, and the Three of Swords is popping out there for you, which can indicate a challenge or a struggle with something. But it looks like on the other end of that, the Nine of Pentacles says you'll be free or you will be independent and it's worth it. Nine of Pentacles, for some of you, there may be something that you have to be strict with yourself with this month as well. So it could be that your fifth house is calling you out to play, but you have a task or responsibility that you need to get done first as a priority. And you're going to be really strict with yourself and make sure it's done before you can spend more time in nature or spend more time with your nearest and dearest. So I feel like there is balance here. I mean, the Nine of Pentacles is a glow up. So a lot of you, it could be that you're being more active or hitting the gym. And we all know that's challenging. I've been to the gym a couple of times, for example, and, do I love the gym? No, I do not love the gym. I find it doesn't inspire me. It may be for other people and it's a wonderful place. But for me, I just don't feel the energy of it. If I'm outside, outdoors, running in nature, however, that's a different story. But it requires a lot of effort to reshape your body if that's what you're trying to do with personal self-development at this time, but it'll be worth it. Anything that you find is a challenge, it feels like right now on the other side, it's going to be worth it. There's a payoff and a glow up. So this could literally be that this is your glow up moment, either in your career or, in your body, mind, and soul. Okay. A lot of you, this could also be that you're trying to get everything done and it's hard. And the Nine of Pentacles indicates, but then you'll be finally free to go on that vacation and, just have some rest, some time to regroup there. The Nine of Pentacles can also indicate a lot of you are working hard now in order to retire earlier. So it could be there's a richness about what it is that you're doing. And some of you, it could also be that you're trying to build in confidence, and that's hard. You may tear yourself down with your thoughts. Gemini is all about thoughts. So Gemini season will see you conquering any negative thoughts in order to raise yourself up instead of tear yourself down, okay? The Nine of Pentacles, I love it because it says you're fabulous, okay? But, you're very humble. You don't see that about yourself. It can indicate that you're building a life of security, and it feels like sometimes, life, it moves the goalposts, and it's hard. But you have the Temperance card, which means you're adaptable. It means that you will find the balance, the sweet spot between it all, and you will be successful. I definitely see on the other side of all that you're going through right now, there is success, there is reward. And look, you've even got cards Ascension and Wish Granted. I mean, there are some negative cards in this deck, but it hasn't popped out for you. Just there, small steps. Yeah, it feels like a structure. It feels like small steps towards something. Don't rush into something, even though you have a lot on your plate. So as you can see there, it says small steps towards something. I feel like the path is being made clear for you after a period of lots of obstacles and heaviness. But it says the small wins, the small triumphs, the everyday victories, celebrate them. They will take you where you want to go. They will take you there. Slow and steady, careful actions. I mean, sometimes I wonder where my guides are going with the readings. And I'm like, I'm going to have to trust this because, all that energy came out there for you. But even in this one card, it highlights, that there is a pace that you need to adopt this month. Careful actions. Don't rush into anything. And I feel it's celebrating the small wins, the accomplishments that I already mentioned earlier in the reading. It amplifies during this period. We've also got Wish Granted, okay? And the Six of Cups is the universe stepping in to offer you something that actually is more rewarding than you imagined it would ever be, okay? But it requires change, and that may bring a seed of doubt. But I feel like you got this. I feel like you're capable, you're strong enough, and you're nearly there. There is this breakthrough moment. The Ten of Wands is literally the breakthrough card to the other side, okay? And it's normally connected to your sense of purpose. So it says here, what you've asked for is coming true. Mediate on your desired outcome to assist in the manifestation process. Miracles, good luck, and prayers. I did mention with that Five of Pentacles there, your prayers or whatever it is you ask for, it will be answered. It shall be delivered. So there is, an energy here of you turning a corner. Now also we have Ascension. Now, it often gets very challenging just before a glow up or just before you rise in something. So that's probably why you're going through tribulation right now or challenge. But it says here, you're shifting from one reality to a higher vibration. Again, that's what that Tower energy is doing there for you. And it says here, it's time to soar to new heights. You're spreading your wings and flying right there. As I mentioned, thriving, increase, and taking off. Before anybody sets anything up, whether it's a business, whether it's an idea, even when it's a relationship, it requires a lot of effort. It requires a lot of hard work. And then the real work kicks in, maintaining it, sustaining it. And I feel that's what you're doing right now. But there's still more to come. That's not just it. I feel there is more, okay? So I'm just going to go and get a trinket and see what's coming out there for you. My guides asked me to clarify there is more to come. And what I mean by that is there is more reward to come, not more struggle. I want you to be aware of that. The Ten of Wands is like the end. The Death card is like now there is a new beginning. So some of you are trialing something new or about to launch something new or step into some sort of new path that is very adventurous and exciting. And the best is yet to come, okay? Look at this. So we have tape measure. So that's about structure. It's about things measuring up, things coming together, taking shape, for example. Some of you may literally be doing some DIY. I mean, the Tower could literally be a reconstruction energy in your home space. I'm actually seeing right now in the water a crane, that picks up very heavy metals and moves it to one side. So, I mean, personally, some of you, this could mean that you're under construction right now. You're going through some stuff, but you're coming out the other side. And I'm sending you a huge hug out there. So much love. but also, I mean, it could be that you're doing some DIY and that's a very chaotic thing. It feels like everything's everywhere, everything's a mess, and then all of a sudden, it's that sweet spot where you can see it all coming to light. It's all taking shape and now it looks wonderful and you're going to feel really proud of yourself and like, yay, I did it. Okay, so I feel also the payoff, it will measure up. Okay, so now also we have the clock. So this is about owning your time, being disciplined there, but also rewards and opportunities, they arrive in divine timing. So I feel this is about being patient. I feel like you're definitely patient already there, but thank you so much, I'm truly grateful. My guides asked me to look at the clock. The news may come in at that time. So let me just look at this clock. Well, it's just after 10, so I would say it's about 7 minutes past 10, okay? That's very precise on this clock, but perhaps just after 10 on a certain day in June, you may hear some really great news that you'll celebrate. It was hard won. It was so hard won. But a lot of you, because there's a measuring tape there, you may be doing something that's draining your energy, and you may ask yourself, is it worth it? And if the answer is yes, then proceed, because you're about to have a breakthrough. If the answer is no, let down your heavy load and prioritize something else, okay? So I'll leave it there. I hope something resonates for you. It's very complex. It may not resonate with everyone this month, but I got to honor all the energy that comes out there. So thank you so much, my beautiful Pisces, and love and light.